Guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers. So please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. Also, currently, I do not have my Instagram account. It is still disabled. I'm working trying to get it restored again. So unfortunately, you won't be able to contact me through Instagram until I can get the Instagram page back up and running. If you want to contact me, go down to the description box. There's an email address. That email address will get you directly to me until we can get the Instagram account back up and running. If you want up to 12 free stocks, Webull is going to give you up to 12 free stocks when you open a new Webull brokerage account. Put any amount of money in that brokerage account. They're going to give you up to 12 free stocks for just trying out their brokerage app. There's a link down in the description box of this video. Go click on that Webull link. Open up your new Webull account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. I'm going to also send you a Webull tutorial video to walk you through how to use the Webull app so that you can make your first trade. All you got to do is go down to the description box. Email me. There's an email address down in that description box. Email me and let me know you've opened the Webull account. You funded the Webull account. And I'm going to send you that free Webull tutorial video so you can start building wealth today. Also, if you're just coming in, guys, hit that thumbs up button for me. I really would appreciate it. It goes a long ways to helping this YouTube channel reach more people. And you know, that's what I'm all about, reaching more people so we can help folks build wealth. So please, as you tap in, hit that like button for me. I really, 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 really would appreciate it. Now let's dive into today's topic, which is the reverse market crash. Some of y'all might be asking, what in the world does that mean, Richard? What is a reverse market crash? Well, let me explain it to you the way I see it. Typically, when you think about a crash, you think about something going down. Like if a plane crashes, it going down, it crashes into something, right? Same thing with the market. If the market crashes, that means whether it be the real estate market, whether it be the stock market, when they crash, that means they're going down. And a reverse market crash, that means it's going up. That's right. We also have reverse market crashes. Think about it. A week ago, when the Fed chair made his comments and the Fed decided not to increase short-term interest rates, what do you think the market did? Those of you that were paying attention, what did the market do? It went up, right? S&P 500 went up by 5% within a week. That's a reverse market crash, right? What do you think is going to happen when the Fed chair comes out and says they're not increasing short-term interest rates anymore? And they say they're going to get ready to start decreasing short-term interest rates. What do you think the market's going to do? It's going to go up. That's a reverse market crash. In economic times like we're in right now, most people expect the market to crash, not go up. But when we look at history, who really benefits from a reverse market crash? Let's think about it. Who controls 99% of the wealth in this country? The 1%. So when we go back a week ago and the Fed chair says we're going to pause increase in short-term interest rate. We're not going to hike rates. Who do you think that benefited the most? 1%, right? Who do you think is going to benefit the most if the Fed comes out in December in their meeting and says, we're done rate hiking, guys. That's it. We are done rate hiking. What do you think the market is going to do? Up. Who's going to benefit? Up or 1%. See, here's the situation. This is how the 1% manipulate the 99%. When the Fed started pumping in all this free money 2 years ago during the pandemic, a lot of people thought middle class, lower middle class folks were benefiting, right? Everybody thought the government was coming to their aid. You got it wrong, guys. That's not what the government was doing. That's not what the Fed was doing. See, the Fed actually was turning on the money printer for the 1%. Because see, one thing the 1% understands about most Americans is that we don't save money or invest money. We actually spend money. So guess what the Fed does? The Fed turns on the money printer, starts pushing out all of this free money. So the middle class, the lower middle class income earners do what? They take that money and they start doing what with it? Ultimately spending it. How do you know that, Richard? Well, think about it. 2 years ago, the personal savings in America was $2 trillion. What is it today? It's under 200 billion. Who do you think benefited from 2 trillion in savings all the way down to 200 billion in savings in 2 years? Who do you think benefited the most? Middle class? Lower middle class? Or the 1%? I would venture to say the 1%. They benefited the most. Why? Because the 1% buy assets, 99% buy things. Right? So in a reverse market crash, the 1% make a killing, guys. But our system is designed that way. See, our system is designed to have the 99% think the government is giving them a helping hand. The government is giving them free money. The government is worried about their programs like health care and education and, right? That's what the government wants you to think. When it really, really, really boils down to it, who controls health care? Who controls education? Right? Who controls the financial market? Who controls the housing market? Who controls our economy? The 1%. The 99% is used as people that actually generate wealth for the 1%. So in a reverse market crash, normally the 99%, they don't do well. They don't participate, right? And if they do participate, the 1% typically will manipulate them through social media, through mainstream media to actually sell out of their assets, right? They will sell out of their assets based on what? The fear of losing all of their money. And that's when the 1% will jump in and buy those assets at a discount and then turn around and manipulate the 99% when it's time for them to sell those assets. They will turn around and manipulate the 99% into thinking that's the right time to buy because they're ready to sell. So we got to be careful with what goes on from a financial standpoint in this country. I don't care at any period of time. You go look at the last 100 years. Look at the wealth distribution in this country. Go back to the 1960s. Fast forward to the 2000s. Look at the wealth distribution. The 1% have always controlled at least 80% of the wealth. I would say in today's environment, the 1% control more like 99% of the wealth, honestly. And again, it's all by design, because the people that control everything in this country that matters are the 1%. Now, how do the 99% change that programming, right? What is the programming we're trying to change, first of all, before I even dive into that? What programming are we trying to change? We're trying to change the behavior with money and stop falling into this trap of every time we get $5 in our hand, we want to go buy something. We got to get out of that trap. That's the trap the 1% sets for us every single day. And they use the mainstream media. They use social media in order to keep us broke and afraid. That's the only way this system in the United States works. We got to get 99% of the population spending every dime that they got in order to do what? Fund the lifestyle of the 1%. Now, the way we can change that is we have to learn how to do what? Use the 1% financial tactics. Use the 1%'s financial tactics against them. We got to learn how to do that. And how do we do that? Well, we got to earn, and then we got to keep what we earn, and then we got to multiply what we keep. That's what you got to do to start the reprogramming. If you don't do that, you're going to always be on the lower end of the wealth spectrum. I don't care what color you are. Now, unfortunately, for Black Americans, we're at the very bottom of the financial totem pole. But honestly, that's the way it's been. But that doesn't mean that's the way it needs to stay. Now, for all people, though, who want to build wealth, you can. But you have to reprogram the way you think. You cannot consistently get money and spend it on things that make the 1% wealthy, even though that's what they're going to tell you you need to do. So in this reverse market crash that we know is coming, prepare yourself. You know it's coming, guys. Think about it. Come on, man. All you had to do was pay attention to the Fed chair a week or so ago. And then pay attention to what the market did when the Fed chair said, pause. S&P went up by 5% within a week, guys. What do you think is going to happen to the market when they start reducing short-term interest rates? It's going to go crazy. Boom, 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 boom. You got to be prepared for that, though. You and me have to be prepared for that. So what am I going to do to prepare myself for it? Because I see myself as one of the 99%. I just learned a long time ago how to use their own financial tactics against them. And I've been doing it for 25 years, but I'm still one of the 99%. So how am I going to prepare myself for this reverse market crash, AKA bull market, right? Same thing. Reverse market crash is simply the start of the next bull market. What am I going to do to prepare myself? Well, number one, I'm going to keep paying attention, right? I'm going to make sure I'm paying attention. Here's a small little nugget for you guys. What's happening tomorrow? Somebody please tell me. I want to see it flash up on the screen. Somebody please tell me what's happening tomorrow that if you want to build wealth in this country, you better be paying attention to. What's happening tomorrow? Somebody please tell me. I'm going to give you 3 seconds, and then I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you. But what's happening? Please, somebody. Pop up on the screen and tell me what's happening. Let me see. What's happening tomorrow? No. I'm asking you, what is happening tomorrow that could affect your wealth building activities? There you go. Somebody came in and hit it right on the head. You got the October CPI inflation report coming out tomorrow, guys. See, here's what I keep telling you guys. You gotta pay attention. See, the 1%, man, they have done such an excellent job of keeping us focused on the wrong things that we don't even know the October CPI inflation report is coming out tomorrow. We don't even know. Most of us don't. But for you guys here that hit it right on the head, the nail on the head, kudos to you. Because that report's coming out tomorrow, and guess what? It's going to tell us what inflation is doing. It's going to tell us if inflation is still going down or if inflation is going up. What happens if we come out with a CPI report tomorrow that says inflation is going down? What do you think is going to happen to the market, guys? What do you think? I would say you're going to see a bounce in the market tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Maybe carries on over into next week. If that CPI report for October says inflation is going up, then you're going to see the market go down. You're going to see a slight sell-off. Information is important, guys, when we're trying to build wealth. We don't have to be the expert, but we got to know the basic financial information to help us build wealth, which the 1% don't want you to know. See, they don't want you to know that. They want you to do one thing: work your tail off, make as much money as you can make, and then spend it all on buying crap that makes them wealthier. That's the whole game plan for the 1%. And I hate to tell you this, but our government's in on it. Sorry for you guys who think, oh, we're going to elect this guy. Oh, no, we're going to elect that guy. Guys, let me give you a little piece of advice. It don't matter who's sitting in that chair at the White House. They're not the one that really controls what goes on in this country. Just a little FYI, just in case you missed that. They don't control anything that happens in this country. The 1% does. That's who control everything that happens in this country. So I wouldn't be so focused on who's sitting in the White House. Really what I would be focused on is what is the 1% doing in order to put themselves in a position to continue building wealth and keeping us poor. That's what I would focus on. Because that's really what's going to move the needle for you, not who's sitting in that White House. Anybody sitting in that White House ain't going to care 2 cents about you. Why? Because whoever put them there, that's who they're going to care about. And guess who's going to put them there? The 1%. That's right. 1% controls our government, guys. 1% controls every financial market known to the United States and the world. The 1% controls it. So if we want to build wealth, we got to start understanding that and figuring out how in the world do we keep the 1% out of our filter system, and then we get things into our filter system that will help us make moves like the 1%. That's why I tell you tomorrow, when that October CPI inflation report comes out, you should be paying attention. You should be figuring out what inflation is doing, because that's going to influence what the Fed does with interest rates. Now I'm going to take it even a step further. No matter what the inflation report says tomorrow, the Fed is not going to raise short-term interest rates anymore, guys. That's over. I don't care what the report says. See, you got to understand, when it's time to move on in this country and it's time to get back to the business of making money, the 1% control that. So the 1%, they've already gave their marching orders to the Fed. Okay, guys, you've done enough. We're done. We're done. We're ready to get back to prosperity again. So that means cold That's code for no more interest rate hikes. You do whatever you want to do in your meetings. You can tell the people whatever you want to tell them. But behind closed doors, they've already been given the marching orders, guys. They have. They have. The 1% is ready to get back to doing what? Building wealth and growing wealth. Now that we know that, what should we be doing again? We should be lining ourselves up with investments, right? Investments that can give us an opportunity to build wealth and create passive income. That's what we should be doing. We should be dollar cost averaging into our very favorite ETFs, our very favorite index funds, and some individual stocks that make sense to invest in. That's what I'm doing. Now, I'm not your financial advisor, and I can't tell you what to do or what to invest in, but what I can tell you is if you keep doing what you've done thus far in your financial life, you're going to continue to get what you've always gotten. That is the textbook definition for insanity. I keep doing the same old thing over and over and over, but I keep expecting different results. You don't get different results, guys, unless you change something. You're not going to get financial freedom results unless you change something in your filter system. You got to change your behavior with money. You got to understand the 1%. Their whole deal here is to trick you into spending every dime you have. That's the deal. I'm going to tell you another little secret the 1% got going on right now with real estate. A lot of people think, oh, it ain't the right time to buy. Listen, man, the 1% are buying up real estate at a really, really fast rate. Predominantly residential real estate. They're buying it up all over the country. And they're paying cash for it. See, y'all think everybody is affected by these 8% interest rates. They're not. The 1% ain't affected by that. Because it's just going to pay cash. And here's their game plan. They're going to pay cash for all these properties. And when I say the 1%, I'm talking about companies like BlackRock, who are buying up entire brand new communities. I saw a special on BlackRock where, and companies like BlackRock are buying up brand new 1,000 home communities where large home builders are building these communities for folks like BlackRock and other big companies like that. And these people are coming in and buying up these communities and they're renting them out. They're called rental communities, but they're brand new houses, brand new single families. But here's what's going to happen. They'll do that for a while. They'll rent them out, get the cash flow. What's going to happen is when rates start falling, which you know the 1% is going to make sure rates start falling, right? Y'all know, see, I keep telling y'all guys, all of this is controlled by the 1% and their desire to build wealth and keep wealth. All of this interest rate stuff at 8% is all designed by the 1%. It's all a manipulation tactic to make more money. See, in the real estate arena, right now, like I've told y'all, you got giant companies buying up 1,000 homes, brand new communities. You got large national home builders building this kind of stuff for them. And they're getting it at a great price. Why? Because they're buying 1,000 of them. They're buying 500 of them. And then what they're going to do, they're going to wait till interest rates start falling. Once them interest rates start falling, guys, guess what they're going to do with them 500 new homes, them 1,000 new homes? They're going to put them up for sale and make a killing. That's what they're going to do. So a lot of y'all out here who trying to buy real estate to build wealth, it's not always what you think. Yes, I know interest rates are at 8%. Why? They want to keep them at 8% because they don't want you buying. Yeah, I keep telling y'all, all of this is a financial tactic that the 1% use. Interest rates are high because they don't want you buying real estate right now. They don't want you buying residential real estate. That's right. Guess who else is on in it? Is these builders of these multi-unit apartment complexes. Why do we see all of these multi-unit apartment complexes going up everywhere, especially in the major places? I'm not talking about like New York, or Chicago. I'm talking about places like Southwest Florida, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, places like that. Big old gigantic places with a bunch of land. Why are they building all these apartment complexes? That was the first part of the plan, right? We're gonna run up prices so high, we're gonna run up interest rates so high that boom, these people have no other choice but to rent. That's why in 47 of the 50 top metro areas, it's cheaper to rent than it is to buy. Go look up that statistic. It's cheaper to rent than it is to buy. Why? It's all designed by the 1%. They're gonna get you on both ends. Let's build all these apartment complexes because we're gonna jack up prices on homes. Plus, we're gonna jack up interest rates. These people, these 99%, they're gonna be forced to rent. And we're gonna let y'all get wealthy. We're gonna let you get wealthy, right? That's part of the 1%, because you and I can't go buy these 300, 400, 500 unit apartment complexes. We got no money to buy them. Who do you think buying these things, man? Who do you think own these things? Big gigantic companies own them, and then you got wealthy billionaires, wealthy multi-hundred millionaires. They're buying all this real estate. The upper 1% buying all of the real estate, whether it be rental, multifamily, or residential 1 to 4. They're buying them up because they know in the reverse market crash, guess what's gonna happen? Rates gonna come down. Because I've already told you, they've already told the Fed, the 1%ers who control the country, they've already told the Fed, you're done. There ain't no more interest rate hikes. I don't care what you get on here and tell these people, no more interest rate hikes. And what's gonna start happening in 2024, probably around the halfway point of 2024, you're gonna start seeing rates come down. And that's gonna be your signal that the reverse market crash is full in effect. And what you're gonna start seeing over the next couple of years, you're gonna see rates coming down. That's what you're gonna start seeing. Now our labor market is done cooling off. We're not gonna have inflation, unemployment at 4.5%, 5%. We're not gonna have that. You're gonna see inflation stabilize itself, right? You're gonna see core inflation in that 3% range and working itself down. Once you see core inflation under 3% or at 3% or lower, that's one telltale sign that the reverse market crash is here. Once that happens, then the Fed is going to accelerate rate reductions, interest rate reductions, short-term interest rate reductions, right? They're going to start with 25 basis points, right? Then they're going to get the 50 basis points. And all I can tell you guys is if you want to capitalize off of this and be prepared for it, you got to have some of this. You got to have money. You got to have income. You got to be building up a war chest. You got to be investing through dollar cost averaging now, right? That's what you want to do over these next couple of years before this next bull market starts, this next reverse market crash starts. You got to start positioning yourself. You got to start getting financially lean. What do I mean by that? You got to pay off all your credit card debt. You got to figure out a way. I don't care if you got to work 3 jobs and you got to work 20 hours a day, pay it off. I don't care. If it was easy, you'd be a 1%er. It ain't easy. That's why 99% of the people aren't 1%ers. But guess what? We can participate in this great wealth transfer that's going to be happening over the next 2 years. The great reverse market crash is happening over the next 2 years. And you better position yourself to be ready for it. If you want to get to financial freedom. See, the 1% don't want you at financial freedom. They want you on the hamster wheel. They want you on that treadmill. They want you in that rat race. They do not want you living off your assets. They don't want you with no assets. I keep telling y'all what they want you to do is pay into the system. They want you to pay your taxes. They want you to buy crap you don't need. They want you to stay in credit card debt. They want you to continue buying cars that you don't need. And then at the end of the day, when you get to 62 years old, they're going to say, okay, you put 40 years in. Richard, you put in 40 years. You kept us wealthy for 40 years. You kept buying stuff you don't need. Yes, credit card debt, student loan debt, you just kept it up. And we appreciate you. Here's what we're going to do for you. For that 40 years of service, 40 years of keeping us wealthy, we're going to give you this Social Security check for $2,000 a month. Thank you. That's our way of saying job well done. Unfortunately, that $2,000 Social Security check ain't going to do much for me. That's going to not be enough. It's not going to be enough for me to live, guys. That's why I keep telling y'all, this Social Security check ain't going to be enough. Your pension, maybe you're a school teacher. Maybe you a United Auto worker. Maybe you belong to some other thing that pays you a pension. It ain't going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough to take care of you guys. Or if you do have to manage to make it enough, you're going to probably be living below the poverty line. I keep telling y'all, the average retiree living on their assets, including Social Security, is about $50,000 a year, guys. That's in today's money. I'm talking about the average retiree, people that don't work no more. Average retiree is living on $50,000 a year here in the United States. You're talking about $4,000 a month. Gross. That ain't after tax, that's gross. Now, a lot of these folks probably don't have to pay tax, but that's pre-tax. $4,000 a month. I don't know, but for me, that would be hard for me to make work. I don't care if I own my house free and clear. I don't care if I was debt free. $4,000 a month is going to be hard to pull off just because of the cost of living. Even if I own my house free and clear, I still got property tax to pay on it. I still got property insurance to pay on it. I still got to do repair and maintenance. And if I live in an HOA, I got to pay HOA fees too. Not only that, I got to eat. And if I'm more advanced in age, if I'm 62 or older, yeah, I get a little bit of help from the government on my insurance stuff, but I ain't gonna cover 100% of it. My point is, the trade-off of you giving 30, 40, 50 years to the 1% and continuing to make them wealthy and rich, what they give you at 62 years old is nothing, guys. It's not going to be enough for you to really have a decent lifestyle. The alternative is, do not give these people what they're asking you for the next 20, 30, 40, 50. Don't do it. Take that money and put it in assets. Don't put it in the 1%. Put it in assets. If you want to buy a piece of real estate right now, buy it. If it's in the right location where people have a desire to live, you'll be fine. That's what I do. That's what I would do. For me, buying real estate right now, since I borrow money, to buy my real estate. I don't pay cash, right? That's one thing that the 1% does that I don't do. I don't pay cash for my real estate. I got to go out and get a loan. So for me, the 1% got me on that one because I can't make it work. I can't make the numbers work if I got to go get a loan. So the 1% got me right there, right? They got me. They got me with real estate. But they don't got me with other assets. Paper assets, heavily discounted right now. Yep, we had a bounce because of what the Fed came out and paused interest rates. The market bounced, especially the S&P. But I've been doing this with paper assets, guys. You got to remember, I've been doing this since 22. As soon as the Fed started raising interest rates like crazy and paper assets start going down, I started buying. And I've been buying consistently every single month. So I saw the writing on the wall. I said, shoot, okay, Fed increases interest rates, they turn off the money supply. Fed decreases interest rates, they turn on the money supply. Now, if Feds are increasing interest rates, turning off the money supply, that means companies won't have access to money. And if these companies don't have access to money, the stock market has to come down because the stock market is only made up of companies. And the majority of those companies need money to borrow cheaply to grow. The Magnificent Seven might not need it. The top 7 companies in the S&P 500 may not need to borrow any money. But I guarantee you those other 493 other companies, good portion of them need to borrow money to grow. And when the Fed turns off the money supply, when they raise interest rates, stock market got no choice but to go here. Damn. I keep telling y'all that's the time where I buy heavily. I buy paper assets heavily when the Fed turns off the money supply. And the only reason they're able to turn off the money supply is because the 1% has told them you can turn the money supply off. Because see, the 1% already know the 99%, once they turn off the money supply and the stock market starts dropping, the 99% have already been programmed to sell. Sell it all. You're going to lose it all. Sell it all. And this is before, guys, treasury bonds, like your 10-year treasury was paying 4 or 5%. That was before that. Now, yeah, that's an option for people. But back then, when this thing first started, that wasn't an option because it was a lag, right? But that's what the 1% knew. They said, okay, we got something for the 99%. We're going to go ahead and tell the Fed to turn off the money supply. When the Fed turn off the money supply, companies are not going to be profitable. And if companies are not profitable, then that means the stock market will drop because the stock market is only made up of companies, right? Now, all of a sudden, you done had this 18-month, 20-month run where 1% have been buying assets like crazy. Now, all of a sudden, they're telling the Fed, guess what, Fed? It's time to turn the money supply back on. It's time to do what? Decrease short-term interest rates. That turns the money supply back on. With decreasing interest rates, that's going to do what for companies? I've already told you, when companies can borrow money, they can't be profitable. But when they can borrow money cheaply, they can be profitable again. And when they're profitable again, their stock price goes up. Therefore, assets go up. Interest rates are low, assets go up, guys. Interest rates are high, assets go down. That's how it works. But if you're smart, you wait till they go down, which they're down now. They're still down, even though they've gained a little momentum over the last week or so. They're still down, historically speaking. Is really the time you double down on them. At least for me. I can't speak for you guys, but for me, that's the time I double down. And like I said, since the beginning of 2022, that's what I've been doing. I've been doubling down. Every single month, through dollar cost averaging, boop, boop, buying these assets. Wasn't buying real estate because, again, 1% got me. Because I can't pull off buying any any large level of real estate because I don't have cash just to keep gobbling up real estate without having to go get a loan. Now, 1% can do that, and they've been doing it like I just mentioned earlier in the video. 1% have been doing it because they got cash. Now, I could take all of my cash and just go out and buy 5 or 6 properties and be real estate rich and cash poor. I just choose not to do that. That's not a strategy I choose to do. I choose to take the paper asset strategy. Okay, shoot. Y'all want to continue to keep the money supply off and keep these great companies and these great ETFs and these great index funds trading undervalued, no problem. Because I know at some point the 1% is going to tell the Fed, turn back on the money supply, decrease short-term interest rates, and stock market's going to do what? Go back up. Therefore, you get a reverse market crash. You get a reverse market crash. That's the concept, guys. And guess what? The 1% have been doing that for years, forever. Go look at the last 100 years. Every bear market is followed by what? A bull market. Every bear market is followed by a bull market. That's because the 1% manipulates both. The 1% causes a bear market, but they also cause a bull market. The bear market that they call, when they cause a bear market, they want to buy assets. The 1% want to buy assets in bear markets because they know they can get them heavily discounted. And then they hold those assets until they create and cause another bull market. That's when they sell. See, they buy low, bear market. They sell high at a premium in a bull market. We got to start thinking that way and not run around like, oh my goodness, VOO is dropped under $400 a share. Richard, am I going to lose everything I own? And guys, I get it. I'm not picking. I'm just telling you that's the manipulation though. You got to understand the S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in America. If those companies go to zero, the likelihood of America as a country doesn't exist, guys. How do they exist? If the top 500 in the top 500 companies in America go to zero, how does America function? Well, it doesn't. Right? It doesn't. So the likelihood of that happening anytime soon is not real good. I think the only way that happens is someone, someone takes us over. We get into a war and can't win the war, and someone takes us over, and at that point it might happen. But barring that, I don't see that happening. So my point is, when assets are trading at a discount, the right assets, blue chip assets, it's not a bad time to think about purchasing them. But you got to have a long-term hold pattern. You got to have some discipline. You got to have some patience to be able to hold those assets like the 1%. See, the 1%, that's one thing I tell you about the 1%, man. These folks are very patient. They're patient. See, they know how to be patient. They know how to manipulate you guys into selling all your assets at the wrong time. They gobble up those assets, and then they just wait. They wait, and then they turn on the propaganda machine. Propaganda machine comes out and says, hey, guys, don't miss this opportunity. Bull market is getting ready to start. This is the time to be gearing up and buying assets. See, that's the 1%. Now they're ready to sell. And they've done that for 100 years, guys. That's where you come up with your bear market and your bull market. It's all manipulated by the 1%. You do know that, right? Oh, this external force here didn't know. 1% did it. But they're going to tell you whatever they want to tell you in the mainstream media. Why? Because they're all owned by the 1%. You think Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, any of these, CBS, any of these big old gigantic conglomerates, who do you think they control by? Who do you think sit on their board of directors? A bunch of middle-class folks? A bunch of low-income folks? You think those are the people sitting on the boards? No, dog. They made the people sitting on the boards. The people sitting on those boards of those big old gigantic companies, guess who they are? Rich people, wealthy people. Got a lot of money. A lot of money. That's who's sitting on those boards. Who do you think Ryan here is the ambassador to this country, the ambassador to that country? Typically, you got a wealthy individual in those spots in these different countries for the U.S. Typically, right? Typically. When you go to Washington, D.C. and look at any of the major power players, for the most part, they're going to be well-heeled, wealthy individuals. Not all of them, but I'm telling you, the majority of them are going to have some lineage to wealth. I'm telling you who controls this country when it comes to this kind of stuff. But that doesn't mean, as the 99%, we can't change that. And I know some people hear me say the 99% and they take that as a knock on them. Well, why do I gotta be a 99? No, I'm not. Again, guys, that's the propaganda. See, that's how the 1% want you to think you 1%. Well, you're not. I don't think I'm 1% because I know I'm not. I don't have that kind of wealth. I don't have the kind of wealth the 1% has. But that don't mean I can't get to my own wealth number and get to my freedom. My freedom is going to look different than some guy that got $1 billion. Okay, he free, I'm free. He just free at a different way, but I'm still free. See, that's the trap. They try to get y'all to think, oh, you got to be a 1%er. If you're a 1%er, you're not successful. If you're not a 1%er, you're not, you're nothing. Trap. All up here, man, in the filter system. They trapping you. Don't believe that crap. You define what wealth is for you, not some other guy, not some other gal. You define it. The key, though, is whatever you define your wealth as, you got to have assets to back it up that produce passive income. Now, I can sit here all day and say I'm wealthy, but if I ain't got no assets to back that up, I'm full of hot air. You got to have assets, guys, that actually do what? Create passive income. I keep telling y'all, I don't care how good a job you got or how much money you make on your job or how much money your business pay you. If you can't walk away from that business for a year and it continue to pay the same money to you, then you in trouble. You're in trouble. If you can't walk away from your job for a year and you keep getting paid, then you're in trouble. I keep telling y'all, this active income is great, but it ain't forever, guys. It don't last forever. Stuff happens. We get sick. We get fired. So if all I'm living off right now is my active income and I think I got this great life and I'm a 1%er, you're dead wrong. You're not a 1%er if you're living off active income. You're not a 1%er. You're not. You just got a great income, living a great lifestyle, making the 1% wealthier. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing, man. Freedom is when your assets take care of you. That's freedom. That's real financial freedom. Not, I don't care if you work 1 hour a day and someone paying you $1 gazillion. Guess what? When they decide they don't want you anymore, they want somebody better to work that 1 hour and pay that $1 gazillion to, they're going to go get them. And they're going to give you a little package or they're not going to give you anything. And you're stuck like Chuck. I keep telling y'all, use the 1%'s financial tactics to get yourself to freedom, whatever that is. I don't know what your freedom is. I'm just telling you, get yourself to freedom. And freedom is predicated on assets. Freedom is not predicated on what you think. I can think that I'm a wealthy person. I can sit here and front, oh golly. I know what I am and what I'm not. I know I'm not a 1%er, but I have created enough wealth that takes care of me in my financial freedom scenario. It may not work for my neighbor. My neighbor may need more or less. I don't know. That's their financial freedom scenario. I can only worry about mine. I can only use the financial tactics of the 1% to get me to my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And I'm telling you the blueprint to do it. You got to understand when these things are happening, you got to understand why they're happening. Do y'all really believe the Federal Reserve, our government, our financial markets, our educational system are not controlled by the 1%? They are. Go to any of these major universities and go look at who sits on their board of trustees. Go look at them. Go. I guarantee it ain't gonna be a housewife with 3 kids on the board. That ain't gonna happen. I guarantee it ain't gonna be some guy like me who, they don't deem a 1%er sitting on that board. And you know why they put people that are 1%ers on a lot of these boards and a lot of these things? Because why? They got money. See, money makes things go. They make things go. They need money, and people with wealth know that. That's why they wield a big stick. So all I'm telling you is despite the 1% controlling everything, we still can get our little piece, get our slice of that American apple pie. We still can. And I'm telling you right now, over the next couple of years, when this reverse market crash fully explodes, a lot of wealth is going to be built. Question is, are you going to participate in any of it? Or are you going to sit on the sideline making excuses why you don't want to do nothing? I don't know. It's up to you. You can make excuses, and that's exactly what the 1% want you to do. They want you to sit on the sideline. They want you to just wait until they tell you to invest. And at that point, it's going to be too late, right? At that point, it's too late. All I'm telling you is look at what's happening around you. Look at where you sit right now in your financial freedom journey. Look at your assets. Do a quick little calculator and see, with the assets I currently have today, will they replace my current income? And if it's no, you got some work to do. If it's yes, you might be in decent shape. If you look at your assets today and say, okay, if I turned on my assets to create income for me, would they replace or exceed my active income? And if it's yes, you're in good shape. You're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep building. If you do that same calculation and it's no, I ain't even close, then my friend, you got some work to do. And you sitting on the sideline acting like ain't nothing happening around you, that's not gonna cut it. I already told you guys, the 1% don't care nothing about you. Nothing. All they care about is how many years can we get them to work and spend every dime they make buying crap to make us wealthy. That's all they care about. And then at the end of that time, we're gonna give them this little Social Security check and tell them thank you. That's all they care about, guys. So you know that. Don't allow them to manipulate you. Figure out a way to make more income, to keep more of that income, and then multiply that income you keep. That's the key to reprogramming yourself. You've got to change your behavior with money. I'm going to continue to preach this message every single day on this YouTube channel as long as I'm able to do it. I'm going to tell you guys this. And again, this is just my opinion. This is not a convince you channel. So you ain't got to pay no attention to nothing I'm saying. Just keep on doing what you're doing. But think about this. Where you're at today, financially, is that good enough? Will that replace your active income? Just ask yourself that question and do the math. And if it will, hey, kudos. Keep doing what you're doing. If it won't, my recommendation, you better put a plan of action in place and put it in place now. Because of these next 2 years, you got some catch up. Good news for you is, in these next 2 years, if you do it right, you can make up a lot of ground. But you got to get started today. You got to get busy today. You can't sit around and wait for the propaganda machine to tell you when to invest. Because when they tell you to invest, it's too late. It's too late. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Warren Buffett. And basically what the guy is saying is, when people are scared and afraid, if you're trying to build wealth, that's the time you should be greedy. That's the time you should be buying. When people are greedy and everybody wants to buy, that's the time you should be selling. Keep that in mind, guys. What's happening right now? What's happening? What is the 1% doing right now? The 1% knows everybody is fearful. They know it. And guess what they're doing? They're being greedy right now, right under your nose, right in your eyesight, and you just poof, can't even see the forest for the trees because you're too caught up in being scared and afraid. And oh, golly, that's what the 1%. See, but they understand that concept of when others are fearful, that's when I need to be greedy. And then on the opposite side of that, when the propaganda machine gets turned on, they're going to be like, uh-oh, everybody is greedy. Everybody and their mama want to buy assets now. That's when everybody is greedy. And that's when the 1% gets out. See how they turn that table on you? And one of the 1%, Warren Buffett, tried to give you guys that advice. That's rare that a 1%er would give you that free advice, but he gave it to you. But a lot of us, we don't even know what that means. We shoot right over our head. One of the 1%ers, I'm talking about $100 billion guy, gave y'all some of the best game you could ever receive from a 1%er. And a lot of us just miss it. We just miss it. Don't miss it today, guys. Don't miss it. When people are fearful, that's when we should be greedy. When people are greedy, we should be fearful. We buy when people are fearful. We sell when people are greedy. Period. We buy on fear. We sell on greed. That's how we buy assets. We're going to buy them when people are fearful. We're going to sell them when people are greedy. If we keep that in the filter system and utilize it, it will help us in this reverse market crash that's coming. And we're going to know it's coming based on what? The Fed. See, the Fed is going to announce to the world. They're going to announce to the world when the new bull market, AKA the reverse market crash, starts. See, they're going to announce it. Fed chair is going to stand up in front of America at 2:30 on some day and say, today we decided to cut the short-term interest rates by 25 basis points. And blah, 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 blah. That's your cue. Uh-oh, reverse market crash has started. All of these assets I bought over the last couple of years, now I get to see them in the green. Now I get to experience some appreciation in my investment. Now I get to see some increase in my net worth. That's when you'll know. Now, a lot of people out here will say, this guy's crazy, he's a lunatic, he don't know what he's talking about. Well, okay, and, hey, man, don't listen to me. Like I said, this ain't a convince you channel. It's an opinion channel. It's just my opinion. You don't have to listen to nothing I just said. Just throw it out there, boop, hit the delete button. Okay with me. I know what my marching orders are. I'm going to keep buying. As much as I can afford to buy, I'm going to keep buying assets. I'm going to keep buying them as much as I can. I'm not going to worry about any trolls. I'm not going to worry about any 1% plants. I'm not going to worry about people who just cannot get through their skull that they've been manipulated for their whole life. I'm not going to worry about those people. All I'm going to worry about are the ones who say, you know something, I may not agree with everything that guy said, but got some points. Let me dive into it a little deeper on my own. Let me come up with my own conclusion. I don't have to take what he's saying verbatim. I don't have to take that as a holy grail, you know, but it gives me a little food for thought because you know something, shoot, man. Does that make sense that the 1% controls every aspect of America? And they always have. It is a capitalistic society, right? What is that? What does capitalism mean? Some of you guys go look that up. What does capitalism mean? And see if that's associated with the United States. You know what capitalism means to me? It's a dog-eat-dog world. Right? Right? Either you're going to be the shark or you're going to be the shark bait. That's on you. You can be the shark or you can be the shark bait. Your choice. Me, I'm going to be the shark. I'm going to be the shark. You got to make that decision in your financial life. If you're going to be the shark or you're going to be the shark bait. Because those are your only two choices, guys. And at 1%, they sharks. I don't care nothing about you. Come take a bite out you quick. Right? 1% are sharks. Now you can sit around here and be chum, be out there in the ocean, flapping your little legs. And they come up and boop, take you down. Watch out for them. Me, I'm gonna be a shark. Or I'm gonna be a shark hunter. Have my spear waiting on them 1%ers, ready to get them. And of course, y'all know I'm just figuratively speaking. I'm not talking literally. I'm just saying, trying to give you guys something that you can relate this to. It's a tough world out here. No one owes us anything at all. No one owes us anything. I mean, you can't even sit here and get through a video without propaganda and scammers and see what I'm trying to tell you? It's crazy. I guarantee you at the end of this video, when it turns into an official video, you're gonna have a billion scammer comments down there, a billion, that's what our world is coming to, guys. So you gotta build your wealth. You gotta understand the wealth building plan. You gotta stick to that plan, right? You pivot when necessary. But don't fall for these get-rich-quick scams. Don't fall for it, guys. Anything worth having in this world, you're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to put in the work. There ain't no winning lottery tickets for us. No, we ain't gonna win the lottery. We're gonna have to put in the work consistently over time, build wealth, and get to our pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's the mandate. Now, other people out there will disagree with that. They're like, oh no, you don't do that. It's shortcuts. You get there faster, quicker. Well, all I can tell you is based on history and based on what's happening right now, people don't do that. Now, maybe people do it 5 years from now, and instead of 99%, maybe it's 90%, and 10%, right, control all the wealth. I don't know, but for the last 100 years, it's pretty much been the 1% and the 99%. Now, maybe we change that at some point, but right now it ain't changing. And I don't think it ever will. I think you're gonna always have the haves and the have-nots. If you look at history since the 1960s, the wealth gap is just increasing. The haves get more. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Go out and do your own statistics. Go out and look at your own research. That's what history is telling us. The rich are getting richer and the poor continue to get poorer. Back to what I told you, and I'm gonna end this thing. You can be the shark or you can be the shark bait. You figure it out, guys. I'm here to help you. I'm gonna be here every single day. Lord's will, strong mind, breath in my body. I'm gonna be out here making this content. Again, not a convince you channel, just an opinion channel. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm giving you my perspective on what I see out here in this financial world. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you some nuggets. I'm trying to give you some things to think about. I'm trying to get you to change your filter system, right? I'm trying to get you to think differently with your filter system. Hit that thumbs up for me, guys, as I get ready to get out of here. Tap that thumbs up for me. I really would appreciate it. Tap, 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 tap that thumbs up for me. I really, 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 really would appreciate it. It goes a long ways to helping get this content out to more people. And the more people we can get this content out to, hopefully the more people we can get to think and to wake up and to not fall into this trap of the 1%. So please hit that thumbs up for me. I really would appreciate it. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Please hit that thumbs up for me. Also, share this video with somebody in your network. That would be greatly appreciated, guys, if you can share this with somebody in your network. I really would appreciate that, okay? And then the last thing, and then we'll get out of here, is obviously, you know, we got the Webull link down in the description box. If you want a brokerage platform to be able to buy and sell your favorite companies, your favorite individual stocks, your favorite ETFs, then guess what? Webull is a pretty good platform. I've been using it for almost 3 years, okay? You don't have to use it. I'm not trying to tell you guys you got to do nothing. I'm just telling you, if you want a brokerage app to use and to try and get up to 12 free stocks, try Webull. Like I said, the link's down in the description box. And of course, I do have an affiliate relationship with Webull. So they do give me a referral fee for anybody I refer to them. But you guys know that's America, man. Ain't nothing wrong with making an honest day's wage. I use the app every single day. I would never ask you guys to use something that I don't use. You know, go look at all of my videos, 1,000 of them up. Tell me one time I've tried to flood you guys with different types of products and services, which I could have, because I get offers every single day, but I don't. I only offer you guys what I use consistently, and that's Webull. So if you're interested in that offer, hit the link down in the description box, open up your Webull account, put some money in it, and you're ready to go. Send me an email. My email address is down in the description box. Send me an email and let me know you opened it. Let me know you funded it. And I'm gonna send you a free Webull tutorial video that I did to give you just the basics. Again, guys, not everything you need to know about Webull, just the basics, according to me. There are many videos out there about Webull, and you can go to Webull directly yourself. I'm just giving you a video that I made that was helpful for me, and it seems as though it's been helpful for other people who've gotten the video. But it's not the end-all, be-all. It's not gonna tell you everything you know about Webull. That's not my job. I don't work for Webull. I'm just a guy on YouTube who has an affiliate link. That's it. I don't own Webull. I don't work for Webull. I just use their app, and I choose to use it over anything else. That's just what I'm giving you, the straight facts. So if you want it, click on the link down in the description box. If you're stopping by this channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video. Like I said, guys, smash the like button. Before you tap out of here, smash that like button for me. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. Peace.